Welcome back, everybody. A reminder to sign up for the Rod Squad newsletter. It's free. You can do so at rodpeterson.com. Drops every Sunday, brought to you by Suds Full Service Car Wash. Fuel your fleet's finesse with Suds Regina's unbeatable cleaning packages. They'll shine like new every time. Look, that guy shines. Mr. Furious, we meet again. How are you?
Rod, what's up? How are you?
Hey, I'm great now, man. It's always good to see you. I was telling the viewers earlier, the last time you and I got together was Super Bowl in L.A., 3-4 years ago.
Ooh,
I feel like a lot's happened in your life since.
buddy, who are you telling? No, it's been crazy. With my kids in college now, Addie's at UW. She's had two rough years of knee injuries. I want to call them surgeries. That's horrible, but two knee injuries back to back, and that's been tough for her. And then Ty, on the other hand, he did. He's been he was he had an amazing start of his career with Boise, and he's been
Mm-hmm.
playing well. And then this year, you know, he wanted to jump into the portal and find out what that was all about, and wound up in this little school called LSU.
With my guy Lane Kiffin. Okay.
Yeah,
Let me just hang on a second. Let me just back
yeah,
this. Okay, so former San Francisco 49er, which I'll never forget. I asked David, Mr. Furious at Super Bowl in LA, I said, how are you treated by the 49ers? You said, like gold, which does not surprise me at all. And David also starred in the CFL with 4 teams: Ottawa, BC, Winnipeg, Sask, won a Grey Cup in 2000. And I didn't know, I'm today years old when I learned you hold a CFL record. Do you even know what it is, Mr. Furious?
Well, here's the funny thing. When I went to San Francisco, and Dwight Clark was the president then, and so he walks out of the room and he says to me, he says, "So you had 7 sacks in a game?" And I'm like, "Oh, you remember the game? You saw the highlight game, against Matt Dunnigan and I can't remember the team, the Barracudas, I
Birmingham.
think it was,
Birmingham,
Birmingham."
yeah.
And he counted it. He said 7 sacks. I did, but our uh, our people up there don't seem to think it was 7 because Matt fumbled twice and on the contact. So yeah. So, but I always appreciate Mr. Clark for saying that and noticing it, and that's pretty much what got me in the door.
Maybe it's because of you the rule got changed, by the way, in the CFL, because if you force a fumble, it's now called a sack. But I remember when that was changed, it was after you did it. It was after you did it.
Oh, well, then I think the Hall of Fame guys need to be calling me then about getting me on the ballot. 7 sacks at that time against who was I playing against? I think that was Thomas Ram from Alabama. He was I think it was Thomas Ram. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say that's enough to. And then those block punts. I think I got a record for block punts too. So
Well, you are a Hall of Famer. You've just given me a task for 2026, and that's to get Mr. Furious in the Canadian Football League Hall of
yeah.
Fame because you do have the resume. There's no doubt. But you know what? I have this written down to ask you. Coming out of Super Bowl and the coverage the last 2 weeks, the Belichick Kraft thing. I'm just enjoying the takes from everybody on this of those two getting snubbed. How about you?
You know what? I think I heard Emmett Smith say Darren Woodson. Darren Woodson was a guy for an entire generation of kids who were playing safety that they idolized. He should be in there. But Belichick and Kraft, by all means, they should be in there. They're first ballot. I don't know, if it's because Belichick's still sort of kinda in play, but Kraft should have been in there without a doubt. You can't do what those two did and look away and make them wait.
Oh, it's ridiculous. And the thing is, what I'm enjoying is the crusty old sports writers just getting roasted for holding a grudge against these guys. The thing is, I don't think you had a problem with sports writers because they always loved you because you were quotable and you never hid from the reporters. Am I right?
There are a couple of guys. There was a guy in Saskatchewan that didn't like me letting him know a few things, and I think there was a guy in BC. I took a shot at in the editorial, of course, uh, which gave me that ability to start writing for the newspapers there, and even in Ottawa. I mean, sometimes you have to be able. And this is before I think we got into the world where, you have you have actual writers and you have reporters and you've got athletes who can defend themselves with pen and ink, and go, hey,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't have the ability to get on a podcast and rip heads. We had to do it, in their medium, with their newspaper and hope that it made it, but often it did. And I was, not ashamed to. The only thing that was tough was guys all of a sudden found out you weren't a real football head. Because if you could put pen to ink and it was actually good, then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, you're not a
You're too
jock.
smart.
You're,
You're too smart.
hey,
You are. Well, yeah.
you got thoughts. You got thoughts and
Right.
words. Got to watch you.
Mikey
You could be a spy.
Mikey Wynn writes in from Winnipeg, Ice Time Sports. He says 100% Mr. Furious should be in the CFL Hall of Fame. We're on it. Which, here's another one for you, David. I mean, you've been on the show a few times. It's just been a while. You'll know this is the show where all the real people watch. Arlen Bruce writes in. He says, hey, all you viewers, don't be fooled by his soft-spoken voice. He demolished at DN. What a great human. Also, check out what he does during Kits Fest in Vancouver in August. Amazing. That's from your guy, AB.
Man, Arlen, thank you, bro. Always appreciate Arlen. Another spectacular player. I mean, just the ability. I mean, just so much ability to do. Receiver, line up his back. He is a 21st century football player. I think we sleep on a lot of our players, Rod, in the Canadian Football League for what they can do. We just assume that they're just an endless well of these great players, but they're really the time it takes. As I coach kids now and I talk to kids now, the time it takes for a recruiting group to go through 10,000 films and find the guy who is special, who you can bring in for to get your scholarship. I mean, can you imagine how much film you go through? Yet in the CFL, we've got these guys, and we don't want to really properly give them their due until it's over, until the career is
And even
over.
then, they might not.
Yeah,
Uh, by the
yeah,
way,
yeah.
Eric in Vancouver writes, and he says, this guy should have been on the TSN panel. Well, just hang on. I mean, everything happens the way it should, even though it sucks. But I'll say this. You were on the very last CBC CFL telecast. I know because I was there.
Yeah.
How's that make you feel? Good or bad?
I got to do a Grey Cup, and it was funny because I think Elliot was his name. He was kind of struggling. He had a bit of a struggle moment, and all I was doing is, oh my God, if he's screwing up, what am I gonna do, right? Because we didn't get coached up. We didn't get coached up. You were on your own. And it's not like, the NFL guys they get coaching. They get lots of coaching. They get lots of time to develop their craft while they're doing it. And in some cases, we didn't get that. So when I came out for Grey Cup, I was like, oh, thank God. I mean, I kind of nailed it. And I thought from then on, and then I started actually looking for coaching when, in Texas, different places. And it was, after that, I was like, okay, this is what I think I want to do. So, but it was always an honor to be with those guys on CBC. I think we had an award-winning group. I think
Oh,
we had
yeah.
a formidable group, and I would have loved for us to be able to grow together because I think we really could have done some amazing stuff with the league.
Well, the network gave up the rights. What are you going to do? And Elliot Friedman was the guy's name that you're talking about, but
Yes,
yourself and
yes,
Walby and all those guys, unbelievable. Mr.
Kahari, and
Furious, yeah,
yes,
Bakari Grant, or sorry, who'd you have? Teresa?
Kahari Jones.
Okay, oh yeah. You're
Come on
Winnipeg
now,
guy. You're
come on
Winnipeg
now.
guy. Yeah, of course. My bad. That's on me. Can I just, out of
Bye.
morbid curiosity, ask you what's going on with you? You got a California number. You're wearing a Dodgers hat. What's up with you?
Always been a Californian, Altadena, California. Unfortunately, my parents' house was burned down last year and during the fire along with our entire city. So but I came down here originally came back to California when my son actually, Ty, was transferring schools. So, that all had to go down and we had to make the move and stuff like that. And then I rode out with him and my daughter coming down, for high school. So I had to be here. And since then, I'm coaching at Crean Lutheran High School in Irvine. And I sent like last year's D line. I sent a kid, James Tank Carrington, to Oklahoma. Anthony Jones just signed with Oregon, and Ryder Barnes is signed with Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. And we've had a bunch of other kids. We've had over 35 coaches on campus, all for a little school that when we got down here, we were ranked 693rd out of 850 schools. We are now top 30 in the state,
Oh,
number
wow.
6 in Orange County. That's with the big kids over at Mater Dei, Bosco of the Trinity League. So, and yeah, we've got some outstanding players. I think our quarterback, Caden Jones, is one of the ones to look at. He's a 2027, so he's a what they call a rising senior. And we've got players, and it's been really good. I'll tell you what was exciting. We got to play against Huntington Beach High School. Michael Fletcher, former teammate, CFL All-Star, Michael Fletcher,
Stud.
D
Stud.
coordinator at Huntington Beach High School. And and I just recently was doing some consulting for Raw Football. They came down and did a camp down here in Irvine, and it was pretty amazing looking at all the great young Canadian high school talent that's connected with Raw, and they're looking for opportunities. I mean, some really great kids, lots of upside, lots of potential. Some kids from Saskatchewan were out there too, so it's really good to be able to assist groups that are trying to do the right things.
Well, I could have guessed that you would be successful helping others. That's a David Benefield thing. Now, I said that I would ask you about Super Bowl, so I should. I mean, I'm saying wasn't a good game, and the Seahawks are mad, and the defensive purists are mad. It was not an entertaining game, Dave.
I You know what? This was a nuts and bolts defensive coach fan game. I mean, the idea that you could bring in like the personnel that you could bring on defense to play the run, play the pass, the pressure that they brought, the blitzes, the six-man blitzes without going man across the board behind you, which is like your fire blitzes. You're able to run a zone behind your blitz. I mean, that's a tough deal to pull off, especially in the NFL with the amount of talent that you've got. I mean, a lot of our CFL fans were upset because there wasn't a lot of scoring. But when you have guys that all their job is to do is to break down film tendencies and be able to choreograph this in live time with only so much time to pull it off, that to me is a work of art. And I mean, and then there were the times where it just showed you the ability of the D line of Seattle to bring pressure with just four. We're just going to bring four and we're going to get in your face. We're going to, we dumped the quarterback, what, 7 times? I mean, to me, there's nothing really you can do about it when you can bring four and drop seven and do all sorts of sexy things and masking coverages behind it because you got four dudes that are getting to the quarterback. I mean, I feel bad for Campbell because he wound up in the quarterback's lap all night, but I mean, you take your pick. Any number of guys were getting pushed back into the quarterback's lap. So to me, that just shows you what a great defense can do. And I think Coach McDonald was saying how, if you look at his pass, he's got these defenses where there's positionless. It's like body types that he develops to do, a jack of all trades. So you got a bunch of strong safeties that can play, or you have a bunch of weak side linebackers that can flow. There were times I couldn't even find a linebacker. I was looking for a linebacker. couldn't really see a true middle backer. So imagine a young guy, Drake Mays, playing, Super Bowl, everyone and their brother watching, and you got to understand, the Patriots are great at offense. Daniels is great at offense, but I didn't see any 12, like I didn't see any double tight formations to give the kid a break. I didn't see I didn't see anything that you would do to help this kid out. It just didn't seem like, I think everyone just got caught like, wow.
I was just going to ask you
Just
that.
in a,
The networks here this morning are saying how much heat should the Patriots coaching staff be getting for what you just said? No in-game adjustment.
I think a lot of times I think as coaches, and I find this even in the high school that I'm coaching at, we get so locked into what we're going to do. Sometimes it's tough to dig yourself out and go, okay, what's plan B? How do we make an adjustment here? How do we adjust out of this and hope that we've done enough coaching that our kids can just get like a root concept and we're going to play from there, like, yeah, it's tough to be able to do that. I know we've done it on the fly. When I coached at Vancouver College, we were able to make an adjustment with a couple of kids. Like an out, like a Jackson Finley. Like, hey Jackson, if you get this, do this, or talking to a guy like Matty Hogue. I remember talking to my middle backer, going, if you get this, do this. But you can make those when kids have high IQs and you're comfortable enough in what you've taught them over the body of work that you may be able to get some wins there. But that's risky though, and a lot of people don't like risks. So yeah,
Bad
it
Bunny,
was.
thumbs up or thumbs down?
My wife loves Bad Bunny's music. You have to appreciate the genre. I think I think they tried so hard. The story that they were showing, there was an actual wedding that went on in the middle of this, and everything. He wanted to show you so much that I think there was a lot that was done, and I think people just got lost. Really, I mean, and it's. I think people got lost on it. I mean, it was amazing how they pulled it off. Those of us who like that stuff, but I think the songs were lost on a lot of the fans because they're not Bad Bunny fans, and there was not that one key song I think that could kind of sell the mainstream on who this guy is. I mean, yeah, but for his hardcore fans, they knew everything. They knew all the songs, and that's
Knew all the
why
words.
his
Yeah.
streaming probably went through the roof. That's why he's the number one. What did they say? He's like the number one streamer in the world. So I mean, the world. There's no one close. So he's a dude. He's just, unfortunately, he's lost to most of us in North America that aren't
Not
into
to the
the genre.
commissioner who embraced him afterwards. So David, we're out of time. This has been awesome. Let's do it again soon. So great. It's going so well. Thanks for the time.
Hey, buddy. Thanks for thanks for having me on. It's been great to see you again, and we're gonna keep an eye on LSU this year. Go Ty.
Oh, he's gone. Well, we'll talk about that next time. Sorry, Dave. Ty Benefield and LSU. We'll be right back. Silver State Sports Entertainment Network and Game Plus TV.